I'm going to explain the greenhouse effect using a thermal imaging or infrared camera and some simple equipment. So I've got a globe to be my Earth, I've got a carbon filament lamp to be my sun, and I'm going to have a piece of glass to be a greenhouse gas. The carbon filament lamp is very hot, like the surface of the sun, and gives out lots of very short wavelength infrared radiation, which shows in the light colour in the infrared camera image. To represent the greenhouse gases of carbon dioxide, etc., I'm going to insert a piece of glass. And note what happens on the infrared or thermal imaging camera view. I can still see lots of infrared coming from the filament, and this is like the short wavelength infrared radiation that gets from the sun to the Earth through that layer of greenhouse gases. So that arrives at the Earth and warms it up. But whether the Earth overall warms up or cools down will depend on how much infrared radiation that it gives out back into space. So let's turn the equipment around and view the infrared radiation coming from the Earth. Because the Earth is a lot cooler than the Sun, it gives out much longer wavelength infrared radiation than the Sun. So let's see what happens to this long wavelength infrared radiation when I insert my piece of glass. Oh, we can't see it. Well, in fact, what we see is a reflection of the infrared camera in my hand, but the infrared radiation, the long wavelength infrared radiation from the Earth, doesn't get through. And that means it's not getting back out into space. Let's turn the camera around and see if we can see what happens to that infrared radiation that doesn't get back out into space. And in fact, we can see that it will get reflected, or a lot of it will get reflected back down to the Earth, and we can see a reflection of the globe in infrared in the glass. Anyway, I hope that this demonstration has given you a bit more idea of how the greenhouse effect works with the Earth. The PhET greenhouse effect simulation shows this very nicely, with the short wavelength radiation arriving from the sun and the longer wavelength infrared radiation leaving from the Earth. So that's with no greenhouse gases. And then if we increase the greenhouse gases, we will start to see some of the longer wavelength infrared radiation from the Earth being reflected back down to the Earth, making the Earth stay warmer. And if we further increase the concentration of the greenhouse gases, we see more of that long wavelength infrared radiation reflected back towards the Earth. Provided you have an infrared or thermal imaging camera, it's pretty straightforward to set up. To make the globe warmer than the surroundings, I used a hairdryer to warm it up before I started. I hope you've enjoyed the video.